You remember how last time where I built some beautiful, amazing, and natural looking terrain? Well, DJ decided to perfect it on that further and make these beautiful, stellar looking paths all over the place, which goes pretty much all around where I actually built up some terrain, and I like them. But I kind of miss the natural feel of everything, but I still think I like him enough to keep him. And it looks like he might be planning on continuing doing that or something like that. I don't know. Like, his plans and my plans are probably gonna overlap in some cases. In other cases, we just have no idea what we're planning. Like the gold farm. I didn't know he was planning on building a gold farm until very, very recently. But yeah, now we got the gold farm now. And K-Flip's probably also doing some crazy nonsense, whatever it might be, and what's all that down there? Like, seriously, I'm not on for like 2, maybe 3 days, and then there's just a whole bunch of new stuff that just pops up around the place. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing. I'm actually open to having new things just pop up all over the place while I'm in and out. Speaking of in and out, how do I get in and then out of whatever he built in there? Because I really want to see what it is. It looks to be a bunch of farms, is my guess. DJ, okay, Flip, what have you been doing down here? Oh, sugarcane, I'd imagine melons, and then I'd imagine pumpkins. Let's see. I was right. I was very, very right. Very right. And I know this isn't the reason why DJ built this, but, the more farms I have for, turning crops into bone meal, the better. You know, as long as I have permission to do that. But speaking of permission to do that, I definitely don't have permission to be, building up or creating any shops or districts or anything like that inside of, Duba's cylinder sphere thing, which supposedly is a shopping center, which I was over there like once the other day, but really haven't been there since. Jeez, dude, we need a better bridge. Like, this is our main area, and we still use this very rickety and very wooden bridge. I don't like the way this whatever this bridge, this entranceway feels. Props on the way it looks phenomenal, but in terms of safety, I feel very, very unease. Or is this a forest? And not an actual shopping center. Or it could be a shopping center. Or it could not be a shopping center. What is this place? Okay, it probably is a shopping center. It would be my guess. Yep, definitely a shopping center. Definitely a shopping center. Playing for DJ Iron and Tools. I didn't even know he had a shop. DJ, you gotta tell me this, dude. I know this is your shop and all, but you know, I'm more than willing to help since we're base mates and all. And I assume this is just Duba's little abode around here. Presumably, yeah, probably. Ministers of Cosmic. There are no Ministers of Cosmic, but there's plenty of minister titles. Have the task divided rather than one mayor. I am not against that. I'm definitely not against that. I do think we need to have some order, considering the world we're in, but I am not against, like, having one singular leader inside a world like this. And if you're offering, I wouldn't be against helping with the Minister of Travel, unless if someone else is taking that, but I wouldn't be against that, because, again, our bridges and our infrastructure are absolutely terrible around here. Yeah, the reason I came here is because I kind of want to see if I could, without anyone noticing, possibly just borrow a building for my landscaping service. If this is going to be like the main shopping center of this world, I'd rather get my foot in now rather than later. But it looks like a lot of these buildings are still in need of some work. So what I might do, again, without asking permission or anything, is probably just set up a small corner. Just pick a small corner inside of DJ's shop, just to have my little landscaping service. Oh, that's such a sad sight, isn't it? Just my little corner in one side. Chris's landscaping service, touch grass. Have some land you want built or changed, just DM Chris for some details. I'm hoping that little corner in DJ's shop will be temporary, or maybe until we can use the second floor, maybe? If there is a second floor, which from the looks of things, I'd imagine not. So I think for now, this is probably the best we could do. At least until more infrastructure's built up, but yeah, speaking of more infrastructure, I hate this. Oh, thank goodness. Still looks phenomenal though. Let's head back to our little humble of O, which by the way has expanded greatly since we've landed in here. And maybe today do at least a little bit more expanding right now. Okay, that's not a huge amount more terrain, but you know, it is still a little bit more. I don't know if I mentioned this, but Eva did put down this little like pool she could jump down from her one base, and I kind of want to make like, I guess, a small pond for her to do that still after I do more training. But yeah, the main reason I kind of stopped was for a couple reasons. One, limited resources as always, and two, in case you haven't noticed from last episode, we have too many llamas to count inside my main house, and you know, while I could murder them and just use their leather for something useful, I instead wanted to be the rational person and not do that. There's even something on here. How are you doing that? Oh, I see. And of course, I can't leave something like this unpunished, and there's only really two people who could have done this, Kingston or Calm. The only problem is that they're kind of being lone wolves, those two, and not, like, settling down in any specific spot in this world. So I can't really go to their own base and just prank them with a whole bunch of pigs or something like that. But I did have another idea on what I could do, which is very much so in line with what I'm planning to do inside this world. And one idea I've kind of had to do was kind of do sort of a Mount Rushmore vibe over here. And yeah, now I have a big reason I'm doing it, making it Mount Llama, or whatever you want to call it. A big old mountain with a llama carved on the side of it, where we put all the llamas, meaning if we see any llamas outside of Mount Llama, then, you know, I'm not going to be too shy in greeting them, if you know what I mean. And I guess also, since we're like at YZR, we do have a lot of vertical space we could play with. I don't think I'll be using all that vertical space, but in the case I'm really feeling very ambitious, then, you know, there's always that option. But let's be reasonable and just focus on what we're planning on doing. Getting them dang llamas out of my house. So I don't know the exact shape or the exact style as to what I want to do with this mountain, but I want to do the sort of classical snowy mountain on the top and a very rocky mountain going down the sides. And I think first things first, let's just mark out sort of like somewhat of an outline as to what we want to do and what we want to follow. Doesn't need to be anything perfect or anything clean or seamless, but it does need to be something. I am putting so much faith into my C key. Yes, I shift with C, just because it's so much easier than shift or something like that. I guess another thing to consider shifting with C isn't the weirdest keybind the Minecraft community uses. Yeah, this is probably big enough for the mountain I want to build, as well as a little bit more layout I want to do for more of this cherry hill. So I think the way we're going to do this is sort of like to mark out everything and then just fill everything in. That's probably a half decent way on doing it, if I knew what I was doing. I guess in my mind I was thinking about like very clean and prestige mountains, but I don't really think we need to do something like that. Like if it's a bit messy, then I think like it's not the end of the world. And I doubt this is going to be like the main shape of this one mountain. I'd imagine there's going to be a lot more like, you know, elevations and groundworks and other different types of things like that we're going to be building around this thing. But alright, what do we think of this? It's not bad. It's not bad. We could probably work with that. And after building up a bit more with the stone I had, oh dear, Mount Llama's gonna take a lot longer than I thought it was gonna take. Also, you can kind of see how uniform everything is. And again, after we build the main bulk of the mountain, we will be shaping and altering things like that eventually. But that could wait for later, because now our priorities are just getting this thing built up in the first place. But seriously, I gotta find a way to speed this up. Well, there's always doing it in a time lapse, and I gotta say, doing this without like an elytra or something like that is just mildly frustrating, considering how many times I had to go back and forth to get more stone and then go all the way back there. And yes, I did say I didn't really want to get an elytra, but I think in cases like this, it would be just mildly beneficial for me to have one. We might have to change that soon, but for now, after an entire day of building, we've ended up with one huge looking mountain, which is not complete still. Like, still, it's far from complete. The front's looking pretty good for the most part, but then when you go to pretty much any other angle, it might look just mildly unfinished here and there. People talk about not finishing the back. Well, I've just not finished everything, pretty much. But I think at least with the front-facing area of this, we can at least do what we were planning on doing and actually have this be a llama civilization. A place where llamas can call home, which is just fortunately not in mine. And yes, there is a lot of things we have to do for this mountain, but there's one thing I want to do right now. And I have a pretty strong feeling you know exactly what I'm about to build here. Why does that work so well? Like, seriously, that's like, it's like this mountain was made for that, which Okay, I just realized what I just said after what I've been working on this entire video. Now we need an inside for this entire mountain, and the inside, you know, might not exist right now, but that could change really quickly and really efficiently. Okay, yes, this doesn't look like the most comfortable place to put llamas, but this is just a temporary holding place until I can make something a little bit better. Which, you know, all things considered, is probably a little bit better than the cramped corridors of my house. Ooh, wait a minute. What's this? Oh dear. Oh dear. We got some Heppel. That's some okay. Hey Chris, I don't know how much time I have, but the DJ that's there with you right now is not the real DJ. He's another timeline, a timeline that I never joined, Cosmic. I need your help to get back and get rid of him. That does definitely sound like how DJ would write, and him writing Heppel instead of something like that is probably, you know, something that's leaning more towards the real DJ than not, but that's probably another thing we're gonna have to worry about at some point, on top of the list of millions of other things we're gonna have to worry about. But for right now, let's just worry about the mortal task and the simple task of getting these thousands of llamas out of my house. And I'll be honest, I never have once dealt with llamas, at least not to like a huge extent, so it's not like a first time I'm dealing with these things, but it is the first time I'm dealing with them in moving them a pretty decent distance. But at least fortunately they do sort of like go in a line. But if I grab 2, does that mean that 20 will go in a line or something like that? It's looking like it. It's looking like it. You can see the line that's forming, kinda. Careful to drop, careful to drop, careful to drop, careful the portal. Don't go in the portal. This is kind of hilarious just how well this is working. Why don't all animals do something like this in Minecraft? Like, this just makes moving a whole bunch of these guys just so easy. This went surprisingly well. But how many more do I have to deal with now? Nothing much, just an additional 300 or something I'm gonna have to move. And after about 4, maybe 5 trips back and forth later, and I think we have all the llamas inside of here. My very thick herd of llamas, not something I was expecting to say, ever, if I'm honest. But yeah, in between videos, I will be working on things such as Mount Llama a little bit more, as well as this whole DJ thing, and whoa. What's happening? What's happening? Whoa, what was that? Like, seriously, what was that? Like, what the? What? Where did you come from? There's just a bunch of frogs that just fell from the sky. What? Is this kind of like what happened with Rudolph? Like, just things falling from the sky? I guess? Maybe? I have no idea, but honestly, I don't think we could get frogs any way else, but jeez, dude, that was freaky. That was really freaky. I don't know what to do with these frogs. It was kind of a sudden gasp and a sudden just things falling from the sky. Like, I really wasn't ready for something like this. But I guess for now, I will just, wasn't there a couple others, or was that it? This might have been the only other one, but I don't know. That was weird. That was so weird. What's causing things to come inside of here? Because the way everyone else got inside of here was being gobbled up by whatever that creature was. I don't know, man. I don't know. But all I do know is we gotta figure this out. Like, as much as I'm enjoying building Mount Llama and all this stuff, like, we can't make this our permanent home. Like, if I'm honest, we can't just permanently stay in a voided world. And I think because of that, next episode, we really gotta prioritize just figuring things out. Like, priority 1, figuring things out and figuring out, like, what we could do about reversing our fall, possibly, and getting ourselves out of here. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.